25 minutes to 11 on your Thursday evening and the second Thursday of every month. It's Healthy Minds, Better Lives. It's the mental health show that we talk about, hopefully breaking down that stigma, getting that conversation going and keeping it rolling. We've got our experts here this evening, Tammy and Hayley, and now joined with our health, fitness, well-being expert, Carl Williams from Synergy. Very good evening to you, my man. Great to have you on board.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be part of the show.
Absolute pleasure, as always. So good to catch up. It's been a very busy show so far, ladies. We've covered a huge, wide range of topics, and definitely worth mentioning once again, Tanya Marie Bowen. Incredibly brave. Thank you, Tanya, for coming on and sharing your IVF story. And please do support the Panavan Fancy Dress Climb. They've raised just under $6,000 so far, the target of 8,000. I reckon with the power of local radio and the power of Pembrokeshire people, we can get that to $8,000. So please go to that GoFundMe page. We were just talking about Children's Mental Health Week. It runs from the 6th to 12th of February, and the impact that sort of gaming and the online world now takes over a little bit. I mean, we're all parents here, and Hayley, you even mentioned it. Sometimes it's easier just to give your child a phone or a tablet just to shut them up for a little bit. But I mean, it's all good in moderation. But as they're crafty and they start changing screen times and they start taking off online safety bits, all of a sudden it can get quite messy. I mean, Carl, you work with a lot of mums at Synergy, and a lot of them actively now bring their children to the sessions.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. And I mean, what better way to kind of get them starting on the right foot, isn't it? So to speak, get them invested in fitness, get it as part of their norm. To see your parents, your biggest role models in life at that period of time, especially, doing the things that we all should be doing. Action creates habits, and from there, if you grow up becoming a part of fitness and being seen to be moving and involving yourself in teams and those positive environments, then it's definitely the best way to go. I mean, I'm not sure how much you guys have gone into the details, but on some of the statistics of mental well-being and things, 50% of children already have mental health conditions between the age of 14 and 17, and it goes up to 75% up until the age of 24. If we can capitalize on getting them into activity better and kind of understanding stress levels and how to deal with issues from a young age, then that number could significantly drop. And the one issue that I have, my pet peeve with the gym industry, is children can't go to the gym until they're 14 or 16, and it's outrageous. We should be encouraging people to be exercising, not so much going and doing weights and things, but exercising, get involved in groups and outdoor activities from as young as we possibly can, because that is the way where we can alleviate a lot of the problems where they start.
We actually had a young lady on earlier, Ruth, I think her name was, Ruth or Ruby, and she was just saying hello to the team, and she'd been doing a dance class in Narberth and went in for a competition and came second. And Tammy, you sort of brought it up as well. It's great that kids can get involved with these team various different competitions and team sports and everything, because it does just wonders for the mind, body, and the soul. That was to you, Tammy. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for Carl. Sorry, no. I think when you come into a community and you're able to have that positive interaction, that positive activity, regardless of ability, it does bring on all those wonderful feel-good endorphins, those oxytocins, those serotonins, everything that makes us feel good, that makes us want to go back to do it again and again. It's definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing.
Takes you back, Carl, actually, to the Rounders Day that you organised, and bringing all of the family together in all the different ages, and just having a really good, fun community day. It's amazing what it can do for you as an individual, but for your children, they really take so much away from it, don't they?
Yeah, it's really important to make those memories and to kind of have those togetherness moments, and kind of where you can one, impress your family, but two, you can kind of at the second time have fun with them, and they can see your abilities or your capabilities. And it's a really good environment for you as a parent, and me as a parent, you guys as a parent, to go, okay, let's see how my child reacts with a different age group. They're used to hanging around with children their own age and teachers. Now, you always look at teachers as a young child as something completely different to your parents, but you don't kind of look at them as somebody that, from my experience, you don't look at them as people who can help you in the same way as others. So what I mean by that is, when you go to this Rounders Day, and what we had there was, we had a full element of 3-year-olds through to 83-year-olds, and that interaction that they got from that day, I think it brought them on in so many different ways. It helped their confidence. It helped them understand that they can actually hold conversations with different people, and that they can actually bring a lot out of themselves that maybe they never had a chance to experience before.
And it's quite special, really. I mean, because we just had an absolute blast, didn't we? And it was great bringing everyone together, especially post-COVID. And I think, Hayley, we spoke about this on Healthy Minds, Better Lives a few months ago. Just, the sort of, all the negativity that can be around, and it's just good to get out there and just break it down and have some quality family time together.
Yeah, and I think we're missing community as well, don't we? We like when I was growing up, all the children would be out playing together. You would know the families in the street, you would know the parents, you would know the grandparents, and you would be a community. But I find communities are not so connected now. So having events like that, because where we live, my kids go to school in Swansea County. I live in Carmarthenshire. So they don't have friends around here. But we'll go out and we'll do those things like rounders and things like that on the beach, and we'll do all those things together as a family. But still, they're missing that community because they're not benefiting from that wider community. And that is something I regret with the kids, not having that and getting involved in that. But I think that alone, and having that intergenerational just rapport with people, and 3-year-olds talking to 83-year-olds and vice versa, and I think there's a massive thing in skill swapping for older people and younger people, and getting people in a room, the older people teaching them the skills that they know from their lifetime, and the younger people teaching the older people their skills as well.
And it's actually quite easy to set up, isn't it, Carl? You just need a location, just a few key people just to shout about it, and all of a sudden you might have a bunch of people around your local playing field, kicking a ball, playing rounders, basketball, whatever it might be, and it's quite a special moment.
It just takes one of those people. It takes the Carl Williams in Pembroke Dock. It might take the Toby Ellis in Haverfordwest. Those people that look at things a little bit differently. And I mean, I go back to all the things that I do, and I say what makes me feel happiest is seeing other people thrive. And I go back to that all the time. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I literally go, right, what am I going to do today? I'm not feeling the best. How am I best going to approach my day? Well, I'm going to make somebody else's day. So I'm going to think of this event. I'm going to think of something that I can do in order to get these people together, and then build them and how they're feeling, which then in return builds me and how I'm feeling. It just takes that person. You will know if you think now in your head, God, John down the road is that person for that. Just go and have a chat with them and go, right, okay, this summer, what are we gonna do? Instigate the conversation and let them flow, because and then ride their coattails, and before you know it, we got rounders competitions all over Wales.
That's exactly how it starts. I mean, Children's Mental Health Awareness Week first launched back, in 2015 to really, put a spotlight on the importance of children and young people's mental health. But I mean, what can we do closer to home, as well as hopefully getting more of the community together, getting more of the kids out and about playing? What can we do at home to stop them from maybe being so isolated and, spending hours in their room on their own, gaming on iPads, on iPhones? What's sort of some advice you've got, Tammy?
I It's again, it comes back to it's not just one person making that change. It's it's that community, it's the family, it's it's multiple people. But to enable children to have access to that good physical health, eating that balanced diet, for example, getting regular exercise, giving them time to have that freedom to play, whether it's indoors or outdoors, taking part in local activities, which Carl's already touched base on. And just allowing them to talk to other people about how they're feeling, whether it's family, a friend, an adult they trust, but to give them that space, or to encourage them to talk about their feelings is a really good starting point.
I mean, I think during COVID, it gave parents a really good excuse to do more exercise with their children. And how can they approach this now, Carl? What would be the best advice for any parent that just is worried about their children? They're always gaming and they want them to get fitter. How can they make the right steps in the right direction?
I mean, I think it all starts down and stems from finding out, and we know our children best, what makes them tick. You might have that gaming child that doesn't like to go outside and play football in the park, but you know what? They might like art. So maybe it's in that instance, you let them get creative. You find out, you kind of give them 3 areas. Okay, these are what they like doing. These is what they don't like doing. We may want to go down that thing of don't like doing, but maybe we have to do it through the pathway of what they like first, and kind of build them up to that. So I think it's really finding out about your child first, and then from there doing something that suits them. If you have a child that is really into music and or bands or whatever it might be, instruments, then it could be kind of understanding when they're feeling stressed, when they're playing up a little bit, and going, right, okay, let's stop this. Let's start something that is going to help them right now, and we do music time. If it's other people like my son, with his autism, he will get flared up over not being able to do his own thing. But then I've designed a way where I can bring him over. I can through rhythmic beating and patting and breathing techniques for my son, I can then lower his anxiety and his stress levels, and then we can go on and we can do something else that he likes to do. So I think it's really finding out what your child does, and then going through these things, whether it is extra sleep and naps, whether it is reading, whether it is the creativeness, whether it is going outside and putting your feet in the grass and going for walks, whether it's getting them in the water. There's so many different options that we can go through it, but it's finding out what makes your child tick first, I think, is the thing. And then from there, it's giving them praise and asking them what they want to be doing, and kind of finding out what makes them happy and what is making them sad, and identifying that toxic environment compared to that happy place. And when we can do these things, I think then, with time and with persistence and consistency, we can kind of help them sooner. Because, I mean, unfortunately, with everything only starting off in 2015 with the Mental Health Week with children and whatnot, it takes about, I think it's 8 to 10 years on average from finding out that your child has an underlying problem and actually getting any help for it. That's the average statistic right now. So if we can get that time split in half just by doing things a little bit younger and putting things in place, then just look at the difference we're going to make overall.
Yeah, it's quite a startling stat, that really, isn't it, when you think about it? But it can begin right now, and I think it always stands out in a way when you've had to launch a children's mental health week, because it's then you start something because it's been identified, and to think that children have mental health issues from such a young age now, it's quite worrying in a sense, isn't it? Because you'd like to think that, well, this conversation can happen openly as they get older, but for whatever reason, they can't. They can't talk about these things. They don't know how to communicate. I mean, Hayley, perfect example, really. You said, I get on the beach with my children and, we play around and things like that, and we like to go out. And how do you approach them in doing that? Because I'm sure some parents listening right now are like, I don't even know where to begin. How do I get how do I communicate with my child to even do this? Where would you start?
I think I say this all the time. It's from the inside out, always from the inside out. And I think you've got to start with the parents as well. I've been quite lucky with mine. We've done it all along since they were babies, since before they could walk. We've done nature and all that, those kinds of things. But if you're starting afresh and they're teenagers or pre-teenagers and they're in this routine of being stuck in the house, then parents have to set those boundaries and start creating a safe environment where children can grow outside of that. So when you start setting boundaries, you start being able to say, look, you're only going to have an hour on this, but then I'd like you to do whatever it is that, as Carl said, something that you like aside from that. But you can use tech as well to get them outside. Pokemon Go, I've never played it, but I understand it's one of those games you can go around. We do treasure hunts, right? So we'll do a scavenger hunt or a treasure hunt in the car. We'll get in the car, they'll have a clue, and every time we get to the next destination, we have another clue. Doing something like that, if you've got children who are really curious, who love to go hunting stuff, it's just really tapping into the child from the inside out. And when you start to build self-esteem and start to teach them that it's okay to make mistakes, because children are not used to making mistakes now either. So going to do something new, if this is the old pattern and now you're saying, right, I want you to go and do something new, we need to teach them it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn something new today that you didn't know yesterday, and to trip over and do all these things. That's quite scary as adulthood, in adulthood, and scary in childhood as well.
It's a great point. Tracy Dibble's got in touch, but for some reason, Tracy, your comment has disappeared. So please do say that in again. Rebecca Singh has been in touch. Are there any gym sessions where parents can go with their children? I would like to go back to the gym, but my nearly 8-year-old son has ADHD/ASD, currently undiagnosed, so my days are filled with work and raising him. When I have tried a little workout at home, he gets involved, but of course not giving me the space to move. So a session where we could both do a bit of getting fit would be really appreciated. Carl, this one for you.
Yeah, not trying to blow or promote my own business, but we've just come off this conversation. I have for the last 3 years promoted Mums Monday, and it's not just for mums, dads. If his dads are listening right now, you're Bob on, you can come as well. But essentially, anybody with a child under the age of 4 can come and train for free. I give it the age of 4 because a lot of mums, and we have the jokers, I've still got the baby weight, and I'm like, how old's your baby? And they're like 16. I'm like, they're not a baby anymore. But, we need to put some principles in place here. But so we let children of any age come along, but we do Mums Go Free Monday if you have a child of the under the age of 4. And it is important that these other people do it in other gyms. And unfortunately, when you've got the leisure centres, they're bound by strict rules. So my advice for you, Rebecca, I'm not sure where you live, is find an independent gym or an independent group that generally go out and do park stuff, or they do something in your local church hall. They will be more up to having you and your child there. And what we generally do for the young children, we have a safe space where they can run about and play, and they've got a little bit of activities there. And then the older ones, we have them by the side of you, or we'll have a little kids section at the front, depending how many people there are. And away you go from there. Rebecca, if you're in Penna, we're in Pembroke Dock, but I also know there are other groups as well. If you want to contact me directly, I can put you in contact with some groups around Pembroke and Pembroke Dock that may be able to help you.
It's a really good point, actually, that, Carl, isn't it? It's about finding the right place to go. Because it can be so intimidating. We've had many conversations about this over the years, but walking into a gym, especially holding hands with an 8-year-old, you're gonna get some looks, especially if you're going into a weightlifting gym, for example. They're gonna be, oh my goodness, why have you brought an 8-year-old here? I think it's really important, isn't it, just to do a little bit of homework on this one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, check it out, see what's around. But I mean, if you have the opportunity to, and sometimes unfortunately it costs a little bit more, why don't you do some family fitness and bring them to a gym? Like I do group personal training sessions where the family all come in, or a couple of friends and a couple of kids will come in, and we can do it that way. So if they have a separate room or a separate hall, we designed our club in synergy with 5 different rooms, so we could actually bring different people to different groups, and we can make sure the intimidation factors aren't there. And obviously, it's a safe space for people to train. So, yeah, any help that anybody needs with that, give us a shout. And if I can't help you directly, I'll definitely know somebody that can.
In fact, we used to go on those family walks, didn't we? Sort of, it was around the COVID area, wasn't it? On the 12-week lifestyle transformation. Again, just getting a group of people just to go for a walk together. It's incredibly empowering, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just starting them back, by the way, in 2 weeks' time, as soon as the weather gets a little bit warmer. And yeah, exactly. So I used to work with a mental health group, Get Fit for Mental Wellness. And they've got groups all around the UK, and we would meet in a different location. One in Pembroke, one in Pembroke Dock. Go out to Tenby, Milford. Go to Pen y Fan every now and then. Went up to Snowdon, and we'd take the family out, and we'd always make sure it was dog and child friendly. Apart from Pen y Fan, I know that one's a little bit more extreme, but we'd always find something down by the river, and it would always be between a 35 and an hour and 25-minute walk. So it was manageable, and it was suitable for all people of all levels, and we'd always make sure we check back, and we'd have faster people with slower people, and we'd have people there to guide them along. It's a really, really good way to just get them out and get the family doing something, making memories, but getting fit at the same time.
And, more important than ever, I'm sure the children will be coming home and talking to you about it very soon, if not. But Children's Mental Health Week from the 6th to the 12th of February, all about spreading the word and raising funds as well for children's mental health. Is a huge team of experts from Place to Be. They have helped develop resources to help you take part in many different activities with your children as well. Last year's theme this year's theme is Let's Connect. So it's all about connecting families and communities across the UK, and of course specifically right here in Wales as well. So check out more details online now at childrensmentalhealthweek.org.uk. Rebecca Sigg, thank you ever so much for getting in touch and sharing your story with us there. Hopefully we've got you an answer, and Synergy could be a great destination for you. So final word then this evening, Tammy. It's been a very busy show. One of the highlights for you?
Just listening to Tanya, sharing a story and being that inspiration, and what a great champion.
Well, an absolute superstar. And I think loads of us are going to be taking that trek up to Pen y Fan. I'm not sure if you caught it, Carl, but Tanya and John are doing an IVF sponsored walk up Pen y Fan, potentially in April sometime. And it's fancy dress. So it's Ivy and F. That is the fancy dress theme. So what would you go? So you got to pick a letter, Ivy or F. What would you dress up as?
Ivy or F. Ooh.
Bearing in mind, Tammy has already said vagina, by the way, on the V. She's nicked that. She's bagged the vagina.
That's an interesting question. I've seen a couple of them. I can't go as a fanny then, no.
Same difference.
No, I don't know.
I let you have a think. Hayley, last word from you on tonight's show. What's one of the highlights been for you?
Just really a reminder to get out with the family. Over the winter, we haven't done a great deal. We're so busy with everything else. Christmas wasn't a break in terms of the weather. So just a good reminder to get out with the kids. I mean, they do sports, but I sit in the car. So maybe I need to go walking when they're in the car. But, doing something together as a family. We haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of self-love, as well, always goes well. Get yourself out and do it. And Carl, next week on Friday the 17th is actually something that you're incredibly good at. You do it all the time. Random Act of Kindness Day is on the 17th of Feb. You've done some weird, wonderful, and wacky random acts of kindness over the years.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's to entertain myself as much as anything else. Just to see the smiles on people's faces. I've been driving down the road and go, right, I'm going to see how many people I can get to wave to me. And just driving with things like that, flashing the lights, beeping the horn.
Carl is that man. He is that man.
Yeah, I actually was annoyed when I waved at somebody and smiled today, and they just didn't even take their eyes off the front of the steering wheel. Like, he's having a bad day, bless him. I hope he's all right, type of thing. But I went and gave blood last week, for an example, and I said, anybody that gives blood on the next time in 4 weeks' time, you can come to the nightclub for free, or you can come and train in the gym for free. It's just one of those things. If you can spread joy and positivity, it just changes everybody's perspective for that day, whether it's for a minute, whether it's for an hour, or whether it's for the week. It isn't hard to smile and to put out positive energy, even if you're not feeling like you can be doing it. Try it. Dare yourself to try in those situations, and you will make that situation a little bit easier at that point in time.
Yeah, you certainly will. And keep an eye out with us on Pure West Radio next Friday as well. We've got something right up our sleeve for Random Act of Kindness Day. It's going to be great fun. All I'm going to say is do your food shopping next Friday, the 17th of Feb. That's all I'm going to say. No more on that one, but it's going to be a fantastic day. We're really looking forward to it. And that's all it takes. Just do something completely random, help someone else out, and it'll do wonders for you. Carl, great to have you with us here on Healthy Minds, Better Lives. Thanks ever so much for joining us here on the show. As always, our experts, Tammy Foley and Hayley Wheeler, thank you ever so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's flown by, as it always does. Thank you ever so much for your time. And until the same time next month, second Thursday of each month, it's Healthy Minds, Better Lives, the mental health and wellbeing show right here on Pure West Radio. Thanks ever so much for your time once again, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Have a good one. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us. It's at Pure West Radio, and we can answer your questions, and you can get involved. Also, send us any topics as well that you'd like us to cover. It's your station for Pembrokeshire, 2 minutes past 11. That is all from Healthy Minds, Better Lives. We're back on The Breakfast Show tomorrow morning from 6 with Tom Dyer and Gina Jones. It's Pure West Radio.
I can't believe